Girl, who do you think you are? That's how I felt every time I went to hit the record button. Whether it's launching this podcast or posting on social media, I'd start moving forward and then bam, cue the voice in my head telling me I'm not good enough. Want to know a secret? I still feel that way sometimes. I feel that tug of war between showing up as the real me and being dragged down by that naggy little inner critic telling me that nobody likes me. But here's the thing I found: those negative thoughts, they aren't the truth. They're just stories that I've repeated for so long, I started to believe them. And the good news is, if I can rewrite those stories, so can you. Today, we're talking about negative self talk, what it is, how it shows up in your life and your business, and how to rewrite it into something that actually fuels your growth instead of squashing it. So go ahead and get cozy because we're about to get real deep. Let's go. Welcome to Growing Wild, the podcast where creativity meets confidence and marketing meets mindset. I'm Jamie Cole, marketer by trade, dreamer by heart, and your host on this journey to figuring it all out together. Because let's be real, building a brand and a life that you love takes more than just strategy. It takes courage. If you're ready to finally do that thing that you've been dreaming of, launch the business, grow your brand, or just make space for you, I got you. We're talking marketing tips that actually make sense, mindset shifts that get you out of your own way, and how to fully embrace who you are without apologizing. So grab your coffee, shot of tequila, or whatever keeps you sane, and let's grow. So let's really talk about this. What is negative self talk? You ever get a song stuck in your head? Well, imagine a full playlist with top 10 hits like "You Could Never Do That," "I'm Not Good Enough," and "Why Should Anyone Listen to Me?" Now put that bad playlist on repeat. The worst part? Sometimes you don't even realize it's playing because it's been in your head for that long. Just when you think you've tuned it out, it sneaks right back in the moment you step out of your comfort zone. Sometimes it's loud and obvious, like you're going to embarrass yourself, so don't even try it. And sometimes it's whispery and sly, like, "Hmm, maybe wait until you're more prepared." Well, if you just lose 10 pounds, you could. Or my personal favorite, you should just wait until you have it all figured out. But no matter what the volume is, it's there, creeping in and poking holes in your confidence. At this point, it's a habit, like brushing your teeth. But if brushing your teeth made you feel like trash, for me, oh yeah, I've had plenty of moments with that inner critic. Like when I was first starting this podcast, I had the mic, I had the message, I had the drive, and yet my brain was out here like, "Are you even qualified for this? Who do you think you are?" As if I needed a PhD in podcasting just to speak the truth from my heart. Actually, I fell victim the last time I bought jeans. If you know me, you know it's bell bottoms for life. And when they were back in style, I was never so happy to go buy 5 pairs. But before I hit add to cart, I took a second and I thought, am I too old to be wearing these? The last time I wore bell bottoms, I had braces and we called them flares. What if I'm cringe? But I said to myself, no, I'm doing it. And let me tell you, the first time I was out with my husband and some girl much younger than me complimented my pants, I felt like a fashion icon. But those negative thoughts, they almost stopped me from having my moment. And I know you've had these thoughts too. Maybe it's the voice that tells you to not apply for that job you've secretly been dreaming about just because you think you're not qualified. Maybe it's the voice that tells you not to speak up in a meeting because they probably already have thought of that idea. Maybe it's the voice that talks you out of wearing the outfit that you love because you're worried that someone else might think that you look silly. These thoughts might sound like facts because they've been living rent free in your head for years, like squatters. They've been there for so long that they've decorated, they've brought in their plants and maybe hung some string lights. You don't even question them anymore. You just accept them as part of the decor. You know what? Just because a thought has always been around doesn't mean that it belongs there. And it definitely doesn't mean that it's true. Most of these thoughts didn't even start out with you. They started with someone else's offhand comment or the way a teacher responded to you in third grade. Maybe it was a parent who always pointed out what you could have done better instead of congratulating you on an accomplishment. Or a time that the boss told you to take a step back when you were finally starting to shine. Sometimes they come from those weird unspoken rules that we pick up from society, like how women should be modest but confident, nurturing but driven, soft but strong. Make it make sense, right? And over time, you take all those voices and start repeating them to yourself, not because they're true, but because they're familiar. Because they've been looped so many times, they feel like your own voice now. If someone told you you're not creative when you were 8 because you colored outside the lines, why are you still believing that at 30 something when you're sitting on a perfectly good, amazing business idea? If you grew up hearing, that's not realistic. Anytime you dreamed big, no wonder why your brain freaks out when you think about starting something new. And if you've always been the helper, the responsible one, the one who holds it all together, of course you feel selfish or unworthy when you finally start focusing on you. But I'm here to tell you, they're not facts, they're just stories. And stories can be rewritten. Which brings me to the real tea. Why does this actually matter? Like, why are we dedicating an entire episode to this? Because negative self talk shows up everywhere, from the tiniest decision to the biggest, boldest dream that you've ever had. It's there, lurking in the background. Let's break it down. At its very smallest level, it pops up when you're scrolling on Instagram and you see someone post a cute reel with a fun trend. And your first thought, I could never pull that off. So instead of trying it, you scroll past and add one more drop of not enough into your mental cup. Or even worse, you get so frustrated with the fact that you don't think that you can do it, you just close the app altogether. Is that just me? Okay, let's move on. At a larger scale, it could show up when you have an idea for a business or a new product or even just a blog post. But the voice says, someone else is already doing that. Or you'll never keep up with it anyway. So you don't even start. I don't even want to admit the amount of times that I've almost shut down my computer and donated my microphone to the needy because I felt like, what am I even doing? Is it even good enough? Is it going to make an impact? Literally, my husband would freak out if I donated my microphone to the needy. At its largest intrusion, our friend, negative self talk could show up when you want to make a big impact. You want to change your career entirely, launch something totally different, speak on a stage, start a freaking movement. And that voice, that inner critic goes full force. You're not qualified. You're not ready. You're too much. You're not enough. You'll fail. Sit down. So you stay where you are, safe, small, quiet. And look, I get it. That voice, it's not always trying to be evil. Sometimes it's just trying to protect you from failure or rejection or feeling exposed. That's the root of so much of this fear. Fear of not being liked, fear of being judged, fear of messing up and everyone seeing it. But here's what I need you to know. Those beliefs, they're optional. They're not universal truths. They can be unlearned, rewritten for the better, more wild you, rewilded, if you will. Because if we don't rewrite them, they'll keep writing our story for us. And I don't know about you, but I want to be the one holding the pen. So, If you've ever held back from applying for something, saying something, wearing something, trying something because your inner critic was louder than your courage, you are not alone. But also, you don't have to stay there. Okay, but how do you actually stop it? I'm all about a good how to. Don't just tell me to think positive. Tell me how. I want steps. I want strategies. I want a plan. So here we go. Real practical ways to identify and rewrite that internal trash talk. And if you're a pen to paper kind of person like I am, I've got you. There's a printable worksheet that walks you through this whole process, and you can grab it in the show notes below this episode. Use it while you listen or save it for your next journaling session. Either way, it's there to help you grow wild and rewrite the script. All right, let's break it down. Step 1, catch it in the act. This is where the work starts. And yeah, it can feel a little weird at first, but I promise it's worth it. You can't change what you don't even notice. So you got to start tuning in to your own thoughts. And here's what to listen for. Do you shut down a new idea before you even let it breathe? Do you feel unworthy before you even hit post? Do you automatically assume the worst case scenario? When you feel resistance, pause and ask yourself, what did I just say to myself? Would I ever say that to a friend? Or where the heck did that belief even come from? And yes, friend, these exact questions are in the worksheet ready for you. And you're not judging the thoughts, you're just noticing them. Like, oh, hello, inner mean girl, I see you. That awareness, that's your first win. Step 2, name the voice. Now that you've spotted the thought, let's get some distance from it. And one of my favorite tricks is to personify that inner critic. Give her a whole name and a backstory if you want. It makes it easier to spot and easier to shut down. Maybe it's Karen. She's always doubting and very dramatic. Or Debbie Downer. She'll never let you get excited. Or your 8th grade gym teacher who told you that you weren't athletic and then made you run the mile in front of your crush. Naming it helps you separate you from your thoughts. You are not the voice. You are the one hearing the voice. And that, my friend, is power. So the next time it shows up mid-scroll whispering, oh dear, you're not good enough for this, you can say, okay, Karen, sweetie, take several seats because we're trying something new today. Step 3, flip the script. And this is where it all happens. You've caught the thought, you've named the voice, and now it's time to rewrite the line of BS it's been trying to feed you. But let me be super clear. We're not trying to sprinkle glitter all over fear and call it confidence. This isn't toxic positivity. This is empowering reframing. Let's look at a few flips. We can take I'm not ready and flip that into I'm learning as I go, and that's okay. We can take no one cares what I have to say and flip that into the right people will hear me and they'll get it. We can take I'm not good at this and flip that into I'm a work in progress. Growth is happening here. You don't have to go full Mel Robbins TED Talk right away, just one step at a time. Choose a thought that supports you instead of shoving you down. In the worksheet, you'll find a section to write your original negative thought and then reframe it into something stronger, kinder, and way more you. Listen, this isn't a one-time fix. I wish I could tell you that you could do this once and your inner critic packs their bags and leaves forever. But nah, it's stubborn. It shows up again and again, especially when you're stretching your comfort zone and doing something bold. But the more that you practice this, catching, naming, flipping, the easier it becomes. Like brushing your teeth. And that old, overgrown trail of self-doubt, it starts to fade. Maybe not all at once, by bit, step by step. You're creating a mindset that supports your growth. You're rewriting the script, and I am so proud of you. Well, we made our way to the end of this episode. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If this episode hit home, let me know. I'd love to hear your story. Find me on Instagram at jamiecole.growingwild. And if you found some real value in this message, it would be so awesome if you could write me a stellar review on your podcast platform of choice. And if your bestie needs some encouragement too, share this episode and send me their way. And remember, you deserve to speak kindly to yourself. You are worthy of grace and encouragement. From others, sure, but especially from you. Rewrite the script. Your story is just getting good. Until next time, stay wild.